All right, man. We started the show. Damn, it's just a little bit. It's a little bit close. Damn, my fucking head is just so big. Jordan, welcome to the Me and Uncle Jackson show. We're turned up. We got Jordan in the house and we got Moose in the house. Moose, keep it down, bro. Don't disturb the show. We are animal friendly on the show, so don't try to send PETA after me or no shit like that. We're just in here kicking it. Yeah, I'm in my Lakers jersey. I'm probably a little bit too big for this, but it doesn't matter. I have to represent Kobe today. I'm devastated. Okay, so the shit is working. Last week we had some technical difficulties, so I'm having to check in with my manager to make sure that the shit is working. Sounds like we're all good to go. But anyway, Jordan, I'm devastated.
I'm pretty devastated too.
Kobe Bryant was my basketball hero, and now he's no longer.
Yeah, one of the most iconic players of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the way I ended up finding out about Kobe Bryant is because my homeboy Phil. Shout out to Phil. Shout out to Zebra Stripes. That's our old little clique back in high school, baby. Me, him, my man Barfield. But Phil would always tell me that like Kobe was great, and I never believed it because I was a big Allen Iverson fan, and Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady and all these other people. And I thought Kobe was cool, but like I never wanted to say that he was the best. And then when Phil really got me to look at his game and like focus in on what he's doing, it was life changing. Because then I changed my whole game. I mean, I didn't really get any better. That's why I'm not in the NBA. I'm still a fucking scrub. But just the stuff that I saw him do, I was like, this is like magic. Like, there's people who, like, you only dream of being able to hoop like that. And it don't happen for everybody. I think, like, it's Michael Jordan, and then it's Kobe, and then you can say it's all these other people after that. But shit's crazy. No more Kobe Bryant. Fuck. I'm devastated.
Yeah, it's definitely something to really think about. And I mean, honestly, looking at the way the basketball world itself kind of wrapped its head around that and respected him in the game, the Mavericks retiring his number, things like that, like truly show how he impacted it too.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, Dallas should have retired Kobe's jersey after he put 62 on them in 3 quarters, and they, as a team, only had 61 points. That's how nice Kobe was. I've never understood why people try to disrespect Kobe's basketball game. Like, I couldn't believe that I was doing it for so long back in the day, because like I said, when I finally saw it, I was just like, this is exactly what Jordan looked like. Like, it just looked too easy. He can score from everywhere. He plays defense. He can just do it all. Like, and he goes hard. Played hard every single night. And then you see how great of a dad he was, and you know all the strides that he was making through basketball by helping the younger generation. And you know, man, it's like he's only 41 too. That's the crazy part. Is he's still so young, so he still has so much more to offer. But and his poor daughter dying in that crash as well. Gigi, she's only 13 years old. And she's on her way to being a great basketball player. Taken so young. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty devastating. They did do something from the school she wanted to attend in college.
Yeah, she was going to go to UConn. They had a little jersey for her and everything like that. It was super dope. Shout out to the University of Connecticut for holding it down for her little Gigi. I don't know if you've ever seen any of her little highlights, but like she actually could play. So even though Kobe didn't have a son, it didn't matter. His daughter was going to carry his legacy
that
with ease. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. You
with
could tell,
absolute ease.
You could
she
tell
was
from
that
watching
good.
her,
Yeah,
like watching her on the court, watching even just like the couple highlights and reels of like them next to each other, like Kobe playing and her playing. You can see how very similar their game was and how she was going to be, honestly, probably really huge in the WNBA too.
Yeah, she was going to end up killing the WNBA. But such is life. Unfortunately, she was taken at a young age, 13, so damn young. It's crazy. Kobe leaves behind a wife, or Vanessa. I mean, at this point, Vanessa's been through everything with this man. Like, imagine how she feels. Like,
So
losing
she was
her
17?
husband. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's been there since jump, it feels like. So, man, shout out to her holding it down and staying strong, man. You know, many prayers to their family. And I know a lot of people are touched by this. I ain't gonna lie. I shed some tears yesterday because, you know, after a while, like I said, Kobe became my basketball hero. So, like, you know, it's been anything about basketball. It's like, well, what does Kobe do? That's what I gotta try to do that. And people who know me know how hard I ride. Like, when people are arguing basketball, I'm like, no, I'm telling you, this is why Kobe is this great. Stop arguing with me. Like, I bring all the facts. There's highlight. If there's one player that you can be like, you can watch the film and see that we're not bullshitting, that Kobe was just that good. Like, it's him. Like, there are some players where you watch it and you be like, well, I don't know. Maybe this nigga's all right. But, like, he really was that fucking guy. He was that good. So, I don't know. The last couple of days have been kind of hard, but, you know, death is a part of it. The crazy thing is that, like, today I found out. I want to shout out to my old co-worker and one of my good friends from back home, James Gallen. I don't know how the fuck a person forgets to tell one of their friends that they had children, but James tells me today that he has 2 kids. He sends me a picture, his 2 beautiful children, and it's crazy because you think in the same breath, you know, that life is taken, life is created and is given to us, and, you know, so I don't know. It's just a part of it. So it's hard. We're going to struggle. It's sad. I mean, everything you see is about Kobe. And it's tough because, like, man, I think I've had, like, a picture of him or Michael Jordan on the background of my phone since I remember ever having a cell phone. Like, it's, you know, these are when I think about it, for me, it's like, it's greatness. That's what I associate with it. And, like, you know, I try to use it as a reminder, to, like, get my ass up every day and put my best foot forward and try to kill, you know what I'm saying? Like, and try to go after everything that I want. And it's, like, crazy to think, like, that one of these people is no longer.
Right.
Like, that is just this mind-blowing. But like I said, like, you know, we lose life every day, but new life is created. So, I don't know. I can't be too mad. I mean, like I said, I'm not Vanessa. I'm not his other children. I'm not his parents. You know, I'm not none of that, you know. I'm just a fan, you know, lifelong fan. Like, I mean, shit, I still watch his videos every week before I go hoop to make sure that when I pull up to the court that I'm able to kick the shit out of my friends, you know. And I use Kobe to get me hyped. And I think some of what makes it so tough is the fact that when you see some of the videos of how he interacted with players after his career was over, like, I think some of losing Kobe, what it makes a lot of people sad is you start to look at your relationships that you have with people.
Right.
And, like, I would hate it if I lost, you know, any of the guys that I hoop with, you know, or like my brother. You know, like Doug was reaching out to me and saying he was feeling how sad it was too. And then, you know, we made sure that we told each other we loved each other, you know, and, like, you know, made sure, like, look, I want you to know this because, you know, we don't see each other a lot. Like, heaven forbid something happened. Like, you don't want to go out, you know, thinking like, oh, fuck, like, where did I stand with this person or some shit like that. So it, like, makes you want to, like, look at all your, like, most valuable relationships and, like, you know, causes you to, like, want to put your best foot forward. Again, that's what, like, the purpose that I feel like he, at least in my life, that's what he served, was, like, to make me want to push and try to get better and do, you know, better things. And so shit is fucking crazy, man. But damn, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant died at the age of 41 in a helicopter plane crash. Wow. My brothers, don't get in no helicopters, man. We're not trying to lose people over that, but Kobe had his reasons. I'm sure he did that thing 150 million times, and, you know, it's that one time sucks. And all the other victims of the crash too. There were several other people on there. My heart goes out to their families too, because that shit's hard. Like, you know, you got so many people have just been impacted by just a random tragic accident. At least that's what they're saying. I mean, hopefully we don't find out that it's sabotaged. God, that would be awful. But Forgot the music was still playing. We're about to go back on the air, or go on the air, excuse me, and we're going to actually start the damn show. And then we'll talk about Kobe for a few more seconds, and then we'll jump into some of these articles. Let's see, what's on tap for today? We got Super Bowl picks. We're going to talk some football. We're definitely going to talk football. You have a topic that you want to bring up. What is it? Tell the people what you want to talk about.
So I've been, girls talk. So I've been experiencing different conversations that girls have with their significant others. And your interesting conversation pointer that came up recently. Should you be able to tell your significant other that they could, quote unquote, lose some weight?
Fellas, no. You should never say that. So we're going to dive into that, which is pretty crazy. I can't believe that somebody told you that. We're going to talk. Last week on one of the shows, what's up, man? Last week on one of the shows, I called the school superintendent of the school district because they're trying to make my man DeAndre Arnold cut his dreads off in order for him to walk and graduate high school. So we're going to have an update on DeAndre. And then we're gonna get to know our guest a little bit, Miss Jordan. We're gonna talk about that, and she has a potential project that's trying to get off the ground. Her and one of her homies, they have some things cracking. So we're gonna get into that, and then some other stuff, and it's gonna be a good show. So we got a few seconds. Yeah, hold on. They asked me if I'm gonna intro the show, man. I just was in here talking. Let's turn it on. Excuse me. Man, let me cut this off, man. What is cracker lacking? It is your man, Meancle Jackson. We are live on Track Talk Radio. This is the Meancle Jackson Show. I'm sorry for the delay. I was in here giving my heartfelt story about Kobe, and we're talking about him. We have our guest Jordan, who has joined us for this evening show. I don't know. Steph's saying that the music is cutting in and out, but that's because I was talking, fam. That's what it does, I think, when you try to talk over. I think it cuts in and out because it's trying to, pick you up, but also pick the music up. But anyway, we are live. We're recording. I was in here talking about Kobe. We're very devastated, I think. Honestly, man, I think as a nation, yes, there are some people, and we do have to get into this kind of, but there are some people who are still feeling some type of way about the fact that Kobe went through that whole, and I hope, listen, I'm not being dismissive to it. I'm just saying what it is. When he went through the rape case and there's all that, there are people who tried to bring that up within the last couple days, and I get it because you don't want to see a man that you think is a predator receive the praise that he was receiving. But let's be clear. Fam and his daughter and several other people died. Now is not the time to bring up shit that the world has already forgiven him for and try to slander his name and shame him. I get it. This lady who did this sent out these tweets or whatever, I'm not even going to say her name, mainly because I don't feel like looking it up. She don't deserve that type of play from me. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that she's completely wrong for speaking her mind. She want to bring that up, I totally get it. But come on, man, wait 5 days, shit. People are always trying to chase a story or try to get famous from people's tragedy, I think that shit is corny. Same thing with TMZ. We got to blast TMZ because they're fucking garbage too. They leaked the news before the authorities even had the opportunity to tell Vanessa what happened. I think that shit is corny. And they did it because they want to chase stories. That's all they want to do. They're corny for that. Will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I gotta close that door. We had the door open. We were airing it out in here, We was in here having good conversation, smoking, doing whatever. But yeah, people trying to slander Kobe. But look, we're not here to do that. We're here to pay homage, pay our respects to a great basketball player. Like I said, Kobe Bryant was one of my basketball heroes. There's many of them, but for me, Kobe helped change my game once I started to really see how solid and how good his basketball game was on both ends of the floor. So I have been a little bit devastated, man. It's like losing a big brother. You know, in black families, you know, a lot of times you don't even be knowing your big brothers. You just know their names. So I'm okay with, you know, feeling the way that I felt. You know, it's like losing a family member to some degree, because basketball is a major part of my life. And so, you know, you lose somebody like that, it does hurt. So, but we here, we're making it. Kobe would want us to push through, so that's what we're doing. You know, I got the jersey on. We're representing tonight. I mean, Jordan is a Warriors fan, so I wasn't expecting her to be in a Kobe Bryant jersey. But either way, we're lit. So shout out to Kobe, R.I.P., dead at age 41 from a helicopter crash. Also, shout out to his lovely daughter, Gianna. She was only 13 years old. She had a very bright future as well. Very unfortunate. And then, you know, to the rest of the victims of that crash, it's just tragic. But again, it's a part of life. Y'all don't fly those. That shit scares me. I don't like being in planes, helicopters. I mean, I'm fine with being in my car because I control that shit. And it's like, fuck, man, if I end up dying because I'm in there doing some Fast and the Furious shit, that's my own problem. You know, I'm okay with that. But, like, not being able to have control, oh, that's my biggest fear. I can't stand it. I don't know. Have you ever been on a helicopter?
I don't think I would ride in a helicopter. Helicopters are scaring me. I'll do a plane, but planes even sometimes get me a little, like... I'm like, sometimes I get a little paranoid, especially if there's children crying or turbulence.
Yeah, because that shit will scare the shit out of you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. When I came back from Cabo, when I was in Cabo, the turbulence was so bad between California and Washington, I was literally, like, paranoid. I was, like, holding on to my seat.
Yo.
And it was only, like, an hour-and-a-half flight, and I was just holding on to, like, gripping because it was so bad. Like, you couldn't even get up. Terrifying. I'm not a big fan of flying. It's something that I have to definitely take an edible or two before I get on a plane. Like, have a couple cocktails.
Yo, see, I don't even be doing that. I'm like, cause I gotta be like fully aware. Like, I don't know. Maybe I think I'm gonna like be able to prevent something from happening or something. I gotta be like, I gotta have all my, you know, everything gotta be sharp. I'm not very sharp to begin with, but I need it to be fully as sharp as it can possibly be. But when the plane gets ready to start taking off, like my ass will start shaking and my hands start sweating real bad. Like, if you ever see me on an airplane, you just know I'm sweating. It's nasty too, because I do not like flying. I'm not a fan of that stuff, but you know, some people, they get used to it. I don't think I'll ever get used to it, but that's because my broke ass don't fly enough.
Yeah, see, I mean, I do fly at least, I'd say 4 or 5 times a year, so I'm a little bit more comfortable with it.
Damn.
Maybe just a little bit. I mean, I'm going
4 or 5 times a year, is that a lot?
For me, it is, from what I'm used to. I mean, I just went to Cabo. I'm going to Puerto Vallarta in like 4 weeks, and
when's the last time I've been on?
Then I'm going to Raleigh.
I'm trying to think, when's the last time I've been on a plane? It's probably when I went to Texas, maybe.
Yeah, probably
to visit my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even then, that's been year, something like that, 1.5 years. It's been a minute, man. I don't be in the plane like that. My broke ass is, yo, we trying to road trip. hit me up, man. I'm definitely on the road trip.
To fly sometimes.
That is very true. It is cheaper to fly sometimes. Sorry, we're getting a quick little sound check. Yeah, you were right. It is easier to fly sometimes, and obviously, if you're trying to get far distances, you don't want to feel like you're trapped in a car for too long. I don't even know why I'm suggesting the idea of a road trip, because my big ass cannot be in a car for long. Yeah, I can't do it because my old ass knees will start to tighten up. Even now, the way we're sitting, I had to like stretch. You can't really see it, but I just stretched my leg out because my knee was starting to tighten up because I'm fucking old. So yeah, planes are okay, but again, I'm not flying first class, so I'm always in a state of discomfort. I feel like I can't go out of the country because I'm too big for the fucking plane. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
The planes are the same size, even going in and out of the country. I guess I'm a small person. No. I'm only 5'2", so I don't know.
Exactly. You're 5'2", I'm 6'4", I barely fit in a damn plane. What am I supposed to do? Like, if I want to, like, my ideal vacation is I want to go to the Maldives, however you pronounce it. I want to be fancy and bougie when I go. So I'm going to say the Maldives. So I'm trying to go over there. I think the flight on that is like 16 hours, maybe.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And so I can't be in coach for 16 hours.
So there's probably layovers. So you're not on the plane the whole time.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
It's broken up.
Even still, it's too much time on a damn plane. I'm already panicked, but I have to go on that vacation. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rich, and I want to be rich enough to one time I want to take a private jet, and where I'm going to take it is I'm going to take it to the Maldives. That way I can fly private. It's not going to smell like baby shit on the plane because it's only going to be me on that motherfucker and whoever else I invite, which it won't be a lot of people because I don't,
like
you know, it's not that I don't like people, but listen, I want the plane to be as light as possible. And I'm thinking to myself, in order to keep it light, we're not going to pack heavy and it's probably just going to be me. Me and the pilots, whatever, we're going to be lit. And plus, more food for me. More everything is, you know, this is my dream vacation. It's my dream, so I gotta go. But that's what I'm gonna try to shoot for. If not, then I'm never going because I can't do the small seats on that flight for forever.
That's my dream. Being able to wear PJs on a PJ while popping champagne, might as well. So
I'm not doing all that because I'm sure you probably have to pay for that. Those added expenses. I don't have time for this shit. Yeah, we're gonna. Good luck with your vacation ideas, Jordan. I don't know. I'm not going to be doing... Okay, so now she's talking about getting a sugar daddy. Okay, so one of the things on our agenda, obviously we wanted to give a big shout out to Kobe Bryant, which we did that. Kobe, we love you, man. But I wanted to jump into... I keep looking down at the phone. So last week, you guys know that I called... If you watched the show last week, you know that I called... down to, I think it was in Texas. I called somewhere in Texas to call the superintendent. I left a very strongly worded voicemail about the fact that they're trying to convince this young man, DeAndre Arnold, to cut his hair or he can't graduate high school and walk with his friends. I thought that shit was corny, so I called, I left a message. I would say, these people did not return my call, obviously. I knew that was going to happen. I was not expecting them to call me back, but I've been checking for some updates on the situation, and I don't know, man. It sounds like they're still holding strong, unless maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places. But I still wanted to ask you, since we had you on the show, how do you feel about knowing that a school district is telling a child that they cannot walk at graduation due to them having dreads? But they've been at this same school since the 7th grade. And he's been growing his hair since the 7th grade. And they knew about it the whole time. Do you think that's foul or not?
I mean, I completely think that's foul. I don't really think that they have the right to say anything about someone's hair. It's like if they wanted to have purple hair, who gives a shit? Like, they graduated. They deserve to walk across the stage the same way that anyone else would. There's no reason why he shouldn't be eligible to walk across the stage with his friends and graduate. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, see, I agree with that too. See, a lot of these updates are saying this within the last 3 days, but it looks like he's still holding strong. And he's been suspended too.
For his hair?
Because of his hair, he's been suspended, and now they're also threatening graduation unless he cuts his hair. Which is crazy because, my point was his last name starts with an A. So he's going to be one of the first handful of people called. He's literally going to walk on the stage, shake somebody's hand, take his real diploma or he'll take the fake one, and then they'll mail it to him after the fact. It's 13, 14 seconds of his life. Why does it matter what his hair looks like? It doesn't impact anything at all. If his grades are right, if he's met all of his, requirements as far as credits and all that type of stuff in order to graduate, he should be able to graduate. I don't understand why some of these school districts make such a big deal about it. And then the fact that I think it was the superintendent, on his Twitter or some news article, he or she had the nerve to say that they would not be bullied into changing their, the school policies because people were outraged. It's like, yeah, but at the same time, you're bullying that kid by saying that he can't graduate because he refuses to cut his hair and he's suspended from school. So, what if he still hasn't completed a lot of his coursework in order to complete his required credits. What's going to happen if he's still suspended 15 days from now? Are you going to be able to make up all that work or any tests that are missed or anything like that? So, like, basically the school district and the principal and the upper management are potentially ruining this kid's life because they want to have control over him and force him to cut his hair. I think that's just corny.
I mean, yeah, that is really actually kind of corny, especially since the fact that they should be able to, a kid should be able to wear whatever it wants, always. As long as it's not inappropriate, it's not foul, it's not racist, it's not any of those things. Hair shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
At all. And the fact that you can have people walking around in things that I feel like in other situations that come up in schools that are way more inappropriate, and you still let those children graduate, how can you tell someone because of their hair? That'd be like telling a girl because she had her hair cut like a guy that she couldn't walk across the stage at graduation.
Yeah.
Same thing. There's no difference to me. And if he's meeting basic requirements and he has all his credits and he's probably trying to go to college and all these things, like, why are you going to inhibit a kid's life that hasn't been in trouble and kind of almost maybe potentially try to push him into the system in some way, shape, or form by not allowing him to graduate?
Yep.
Like, why would you do that?
Because they're corny as a motherfucker. People just want to have control over other people. That's all it is. Sorry, I gotta sip my tea, man. I agree with everything you're saying. I think for me, it just comes down to the fact, I think it's ridiculous. It impacts nothing. It's his hair. It's not bothering anybody. It's on his body. He maintains it. He keeps it clean. Like, why does it matter? It literally doesn't matter. That's the craziest shit about it, is that it literally doesn't matter. But these people want to make a big deal about it. I feel like if the superintendent really cared about the students or anything, he would have looked at that policy and been like, we really are trying to prevent this child from, taking further steps into their future because of an old policy about hair. They should have looked at it, laughed, and been like, young fella, don't worry about it. Continue to do what you do, and we'll work this shit out. Why are you even investing time in trying to prevent this young man from graduating or being at school? That's the dumbest shit that I ever heard. And it's adults being corny. Like, do the right thing. Come on, man. He's a kid.
I'm surprised there's not more teachers, honestly, like going and being like, why is this a policy? Because I mean, as having a teacher, my mom's a teacher. Like, my mom would literally, if she was told, oh yeah, a student that has probably good grades or even decent enough grades to graduate.
He's got good grades. Everything's straight.
Why would you sit there and my mom would be freaking out at the superintendent for sure, being like, what do you mean this kid can't graduate because of his hair or her hair? Or this is the most ridiculous rule ever. We let people freaking do whatever they want almost in a high school nowadays for almost every school, depending on the school. So why would you sit there and tell some kid he can't graduate because of hair? Like, he's literally been going to school there. Even if he hadn't been in the same school since 7th grade, say he went there in 10th grade when he went to high school.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
Like, you've seen him in school since then. But also, too, if that was truly a policy, like, in the handbook from the beginning, as his parent, I probably would have brought it up, like, right away. I would have been like, this is not serious. Like, you're joking,
we wouldn't even
right?
want to come here.
Why would you want to go there, right?
Yeah.
Why would you want to, like, it's almost kind of telling some kids, like, they can't have any individuality either. It's taking away individuality completely. I'd love to see the school's policy
taking away a
on
person's
hair.
choice.
I would love to see the school's policy on hair, like the whole thing.
We should maybe Google it. Yeah, so when I looked at the updates, it didn't have much. I think DeAndre's still holding strong. Hold it down, young brother. I don't know. I'm not going to call the school district tonight. But I feel like if this is still happening by Thursday's show, then we'll probably call again. Why the fuck not?
I think
we might as well. I think we should too. Let's see, man. What is next? So, Sunday is a big day all around the United States because Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday. So we got Chiefs versus 49ers. I didn't get to bring this up the week that I was sick, but this was one of the things that popped up. As soon as we heard that the 49ers were going back to the Super Bowl, there was, I think it was NFL Network they tweeted some photo and they said, oh, this is the 49ers' first Super Bowl appearance since like 1994 or 1995. And I think a lot of people realize that's fucking grimy because that's not true considering they just went to the Super Bowl like 5 years ago against the Ravens and they ended up losing after the power went out. And some people believe that they're trying to wipe away the history that is Colin Kaepernick. And so, and honestly, I don't blame them because you literally, I don't disagree or I have a hard time disagreeing because I feel like, fam, we know that they were just in the fucking Super Bowl. And why are you trying to play like they weren't?
You know, I was actually thinking that. When it came up and when I saw that tweet too, and I was like, I kept trying to rack my brain too, because honestly, one, I don't really like the 49ers, so I was like, I know they were just in the Super Bowl not that long ago. And I was like sitting there and I was like, what Super Bowl was it though? Because honestly, the only time, let's be real, unless your team's playing or you're a really true diehard Super Bowl fan, 99% of why you go to watch a Super Bowl game or go to a Super Bowl party is one, for the food.
Yeah.
And two, because there's alcohol involved. So you'll watch the football in the background, you watch the stupid commercials, and you watch a little bit of the game. But then the only things you do remember is I was like, they've been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's been recent because I was like, it's been in the last whatever amount of years. So you just remember those things and you're like, I thought that. And I was just like, whatever. But plus, hate the fucking 49ers. Really, honestly, I think the Super Bowl is about to be trash.
Seahawks fan. She's a Seahawks fan. That's fine. Both y'all are garbage. Anyway.
Oh, I have better predictions about what I thought the Super Bowl should have been this year.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Okay, who did you want to be in the Super Bowl? Okay. And then after that, I want you to. I mean, I'm assuming you're picking the Chiefs. Oh, you're not picking the Chiefs even though you hate the Niners? Okay, so you're gonna tell the world why you're not picking Mahomes, which I think is the dumbest thing a person can do.
Actually, I mean, I'm indifferent. I'm really indifferent about the situation. I feel like the Packers, to be honest, playing the 49ers was an absolute trash game. And it was a wasted space and a wasted game. And that I feel like there could have been better options coming out of that side of the league to lead to, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is great. He's got a great career ahead of him. He's going to be a great football player.
So what, sure. you think like they don't deserve to go to the Super Bowl?
I'm not saying I don't think he deserves to go to the Super Bowl because I'm not against the Chiefs. I just kind of really want the Titans.
I see it. I can see that because I think like it would have been cool to see Tennessee maybe do something, but there was a part of me that was like when I knew that they were matching up with the Chiefs, I was like, well, no, I want to see if we're gonna have a year where Tennessee wins it. Let it be next year. Let's go ahead and let Mahomes win it because everybody already says that he's like, going to be the greatest of all time. Let's let him win the Super Bowl so we can get this shit over with. And then he can actually like kind of start to take over because a lot of people are still holding the fact that like we all want to say he's great, but like he hasn't won the Super Bowl. So like,
right.
I'm like, let's just get this shit over with because like if Tennessee has a chance, they have a really young team. I think they'll be straight for the next couple of years to come. But man, I don't know. Tannehill wasn't bad, but I don't know if he's gonna do the same thing next year that he did this year. I think he's gonna end up like Case Keenum did it that one year, Matt Castle did it one year, like Matt Flynn did it for a couple of games where you see these guys and they come in, they have a string of good games, and then like maybe they go to the playoffs or whatever, they win a handful of these like really close good games against good teams, and then we're like, oh, well, this guy's going to be nice. And then he goes to another team because he gets a bigger contract. and then he ends up being benched for the guy that they draft in like the 4th round or some shit like that.
True.
So I don't know, man. I think Tennessee will be okay, but I really, if it wasn't Baltimore, I wanted it to be Kansas City. So I'm not surprised by the AFC because those were the 2 best teams. But I don't know. Hey. Ravens stunk that shit up kind of. And it wasn't even Lamar Jackson's fault. Everybody on the team was just dropping passes. Whole team was garbage except him.
Yeah, no, that game, honestly, it came out pretty strong. They came on pretty strong in the first, quarter. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, that's it. I was like, game over. This is going to be great. All I can say is that, I mean, when it comes down to Super Bowls, it comes back down to, the NFL playoffs, too. I bet, most of America, though, the only thing they're fucking happy about, excuse my language, is that the freaking Patriots are not in the damn Super Bowl.
Hey!
No one likes the Patriots. Everyone respects Tom Brady's game. But no one wants to see them in the Super Bowl. It's why even go? Why even watch it? I could binge watch a show on Netflix all day instead of have to watch that trash. What's the point?
I'll say this about the Patriots. So I'm not a Patriots fan. I obviously think they're garbage because I'm a Bills fan, and they beat us year after year after year since Belichick and Brady pulled up to New England. But they always have the best game plan when it comes to the playoffs. This year, not so much because they had they had nobody in the receiving corps. And just as a quick reminder, yes, the guy who was the wide receivers coach for the Patriots got a head coaching job this offseason. I don't know how the F you pull that off when you couldn't even coach the receivers that you had with Brady and Belichick. You literally had, and I know you had Josh Gordon. He got hurt and y'all waived him. You had Wes Welker reincarnate, which is what I call Julian Edelman, but Edelman was injured the whole year and he barely did anything. And then you brought in Mohamed Sanu. He didn't do anything. Who else do y'all have? N'Keal Harry, but he was hurt, and then by the time he started playing, he didn't do anything. But you guys literally had no receivers, and that guy got a head coaching job. I think that's terrible. But I will say this. When New England goes to the Super Bowl, at least they give good games on their side of the field. Sometimes they play some bum-ass teams, but a lot of the Super Bowls that we've watched them play have been pretty good. It's going to be weird not seeing them in the Super Bowl, if I'm being honest. But I also know we're getting the best offense and the best defense, I think. Even though the 49ers secondary is not all that great, in my opinion. Outside of Sherm, a lot of their guys are just average. And it's Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and whoever they got out of the backfield, Damian Williams or it could be LaShawn McCoy, Sammy Watkins. They have people everywhere. So there's a chance that the 49ers may not have enough defense to stop the passing game, but I don't know if the 49ers are a team that you want to have a slow start against. And Kansas City's last 2 playoff games, they started slow in both. And yeah, they were able to turn it on, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against San Fran. But I would have a hard time picking San Francisco to win the Super Bowl. And I kind of want them to lose because of NFL Network. Because they did that little stupid-ass tweet, I want the Niners to lose just because of the fact that they're trying to erase the history that was Colin Kaepernick.
I am completely on board with that because honestly, I don't understand. One, this poor guy, Colin Kaepernick. Can we talk about him for a second?
No.
It is so sad the things that I've seen go on this year in regards to Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, hosting his
own tryouts, essentially. Literally hosted his own.
I've already given him, we've given him press on this show about that. I'm not getting into that again because some of that stuff, I think, look, man, if you really wanted to play football, you had an opportunity. You should have just did what what was needed to be done if you really wanted to play. But if, I think if you were looking for an opportunity just to, continue to use the platform to spread awareness, I think that would have been dope too. And I think he did that. And I think we've seen, even though the NFL is hella years late, You know, they've had some commercials come out, and they've done some work with Anquan Bolden, police brutality, and a lot of these things. It just sucks that they had to kill Colin Kaepernick and, you know, ruin his career before they actually just did the right thing. Like, y'all the NFL, sorry asses, could have been doing this type of shit, and they waited forever. So, shout out to Colin Kaepernick, man. You know, you killed your career for the cause, but I think at this point, I'm done talking about it. I don't want to talk about it no more because, like I said, it's hard to tell what you want to do. Do you want to do football, or do you just want to be a guy who's, you know, wilding out and like sparking change and shit? Because that's dope too. That's actually better than being a football player, probably. But you gotta pick a lane, fam. So it's time to hang it up. That's what I think. I think Colin need to hang this shit up. Let's see, man. We're through the first 40 minutes of the show. We're going to take a short break. Don't worry. I ain't going to make y'all wait for 3 or 4 songs. I don't know why that even happened. But let's see. I got some Slaughterhouse about to play. There may be some Cam'ron. Maybe some Bobby Shmurda. Some Drake, Jay-Z. Some Daily. Some Future. You're going to hear a lot of good music today. We got Jordan is hosting with me tonight, man. Thanks for having us. And thanks for being on the show. Big fan of the show. I almost said lifelong, but it feels like I've kind of said that my life kind of just restarted when I moved to Washington. So some people, when I say they're lifelong friends, they're friends that I've known since I've been in Washington. And that's basically where life kind of started for me. All the shit before, we trying to forget about that. It's old news. But yeah, Jordan's one of my homies, so we're glad that she's able to, you know, be on the show, give her thoughts and feedback, and we got more to come with her. Like I said, some more articles we're going to discuss. We're going to get to your question that you have. And when we come back on the air, I'll let you phrase your question. And we're going to dive into that because that is some wild shit. Fellas, I hope, if you're listening, I hope you take notes when we dive into this next conversation. But let's jump into this music, man. And we'll be right back with the Meme Cool Jackson Show. It's lit. All right, man. R.I.P. Kobe.
Literally.
But yeah. Gotta get the water. My throat is still messed up from being sick. Like 2 weeks ago, I feel like I was laid up in my deathbed when we had the snow days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I got lucky because I didn't have to really take off any time from work, but I was sick that whole week.
That's horrible.
Yeah. I think for a little bit I had the flu, and then that morphed into some laryngitis, and I've been trying to get my shit back. But like even when I'm at the gym and when I go play basketball, I'm like struggling to breathe and shit. I had a whole inhaler and everything. Shit was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Being sick is not. It's like all over the place right now too.
Yeah. You know what? I wonder if I told my job I had the coronavirus. and maybe they'll give me some extra days off. Let me stop, man. They might fire me for that. This motherfucker's sick for real. Get him out of here.
It'll be like quarantine.
Yo, I read something today where it had some crazy ass numbers on it, where it was saying something like there were like 375,000 cases reported, and then like 75,000 people had died from the shit. I'm like, yo.
No, it's not right.
And I bet it's not real, but if you're trying to incite panic, that's the easiest way to do it, is put that shit on a meme and let it fly around the internet for a few hours. Everybody and their mama was worried about that shit.
Well, there is, apparently, you know how they're doing all these things at the airports?
Yeah.
Do the virus screening or whatever. SeaTac is now joined the game. They are now screening for the virus coming in and out of the airport. So that's going to be impressive.
We don't want motherfuckers over here getting sick.
No, for sure not. And apparently there's a 4th patient in Washington State waiting on test results to see if they have this coronavirus.
Damn.
People have been talking about that, and people think it's like funny that how you can post memes or, you know, make comments or make jokes around it. But I mean, they named it the coronavirus. Why wouldn't you ask if they want to have Lyme disease with it? It's kind of funny. Like, you can't not, like, You just can't not say
dead,
it.
bro.
You can't not
over
say
here
it.
making alcohol jokes and shit like that. Yo, people out here dying. They're out here cracking jokes.
Those Coronas.
Yo.
I mean, I'm always down to have a good beer, so.
Listen, I don't drink beers. I'm not a fan of that shit. Every now and again, I'll have an alcoholic beverage, but most times it's just Jameson, straight or on the rocks. I don't be drinking nothing too crazy.
Whiskey fan?
Yeah. I sip on the whiskey. I'll drink that.
I'm drinking whiskey right now.
Yeah. You were having a sip of whiskey. For me, I'm not. If I end up drinking on the show, we'll end up having like the air horn playing the whole fucking time while we do it. So I'm not trying to do that. So, but you know, I want my guests to feel comfortable. I want them to do whatever the hell they want to do. I mean, you're not finna do meth on my shit. But
I was like, don't go too.
We're not trying to do no weird, crazy stuff. But man, I want people to be comfortable. So, man, I'm hoping we'll have some big news from Sherry pretty soon about these interviews we're trying to lock in. Sherry, if you're listening, what's cracking with the interviews, dog? Let's get it. We're supposed to interview some really, one person. They're both important people, but they're both important for different things on different levels, and so we have some good things to talk about. And one of these things, we need to help my man figure out why there are so many question marks around the death of his brother. That is important, and that's one of our guests. So we're trying to lock in an interview. I'm not saying any names until we're actually able to get in contact with them and dive into that. But it's kind of local too, so it's in our greater Seattle, Tacoma area. So we got to figure this shit out, because man, when I heard this story, the whole time I was just like, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why'd they do this? Like, you just end up having a million questions, and some of this stuff is too. It's one of those things where like we can't let this like slide. We can't let this skate, because we know that somebody did something wrong and they're trying to like find a way to cover the shit up. Yeah. So we got to get to the bottom of that shit. So
okay, I don't know who that is. So
yeah, if we can get the interview, we're gonna get it cracking. So we're gonna try to get my man to come on, and he can talk about his brother and talk about the unfortunate circumstances surrounding his death. We want to try to raise awareness and light fires underneath specific people to get them to do the fucking right thing. If you know something happened to this man, do the right thing. Don't let him die in vain or any of that BS, man. That's not fair. So, we're trying to make that happen, man. So, thanks for being on the show. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Tell them where you're from, what you do. You got some, cool recruiting job. Let them know what you do, man. If you can talk about it. I mean, I hope no one at your job sees this show and like tries to get you caught up. But tell them, look, man, I was trying to get my first shot at TV before this motherfucker hit it big. So that's why I did it. That's what you tell them at work. Go ahead. Tell them about yourself.
I actually pretty much, for the most part, born and raised here. Pretty much a Seattleite. So I've lived here almost my whole life. I do work for Amazon as a recruiter. That is my new official job. I finally am permanent.
Okay, congratulations.
But I actually just really am trying to get, obviously with your show, I'm just happy to join. And me and one of my best friends named Jordan, we are working on our own blog, podcast, and Instagram page. Specifically, it's going to be around women in their like 20s and 30s and like the do's and don'ts, tips and tricks, dating.
Is this like a Sex in the City type of deal?
Kinda, yeah. Like clothes, dating, horrific stories. There's going to be maybe a little bit of a leak about a private romance that happened that unfortunately had an interesting twist and ending to it, and how how you should kind of handle those type of situations and what you should do, because people are trifling. And we're just going to kind of talk about, you know, cocktails, what to drink, what to read, like anything that we think is interesting. And then, of course, like memes that are related to girls, and specifically because we're targeting that audience in their 20s, and like dating and life, like clothes, shoes, favorite thing to wear.
So you guys are trying to like help put people on to cool things.
Trends, food, restaurants, everything in Seattle. So it's going to be a little bit of a secret, but it's going to also have a lot of truth to it.
We're going to let them listen to the Bobby Shmurda next.
I mean, might as well.
No, that's dope. Okay, I like that. A little like Sex in the City type of podcast thing. That's really cool. Look, so you're doing that. You work at Amazon.
Yep.
What did you do before you went to Amazon? What made you want to get on with them?
Before I went to Amazon, I used to work in restaurant management and hospitality and food and service. I did a small stint in staffing, which is kind of the trash of the recruiting world, so we won't talk about that. But then I was lucky enough to get reached out to by a recruiter, ironically enough. And they asked me if I wanted to take a contract to Amazon. Loved Amazon from the very moment I stepped in the door. And I was like, I want to work here, and I want to work here for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I've officially been working for them permanently for 3 years. Or 3 months, not 3 years, obviously. I haven't been back in Seattle that long. Did a small stint in San Antonio before that.
That's what's up. Okay, so what's the best part about working for Amazon? Because, like, say if I'm looking for another job,
right,
what's going to make me want to pull up and want to break my back for Amazon?
Unfortunately for me, it's a little bit different than maybe for what you would be looking for. But for me...
What does that mean?
I have Moose, and Moose is like my best friend, my ride or die, 12 years strong, and I can actually take him to the office with me every day.
Oh, take your dog to work every day. That's pretty lit.
And it's kind of like one of those concepts where you come in, you do your work, obviously you show up and you're there for normal
do y'all have like
business hours, but I don't have set hours either.
Do you have like a pool table in the middle of your office?
We
like,
do have
just
a pool
like
table.
Snacks and shit everywhere.
No snacks, pool table upstairs.
They don't even give y'all snacks?
No, for a while we did have a keg though on the like the 6th floor.
Nah, see, that don't entice me.
They do sandwiches and they like do snack things.
Is all that shit free?
Yeah, fun engagements. We do like different activities.
See, you want to know how you can get me to come to work and never miss a day and break my back, make sure my pay is right, and provide free snacks. I'll do anything that you need if there's snacks available. Don't ask me to go to a training and then not offer food or snacks. I'm not with that shit. I've had a lot of jobs to try to do that, fam. If you wondered why I was not interested in what you were talking about, it's because you didn't provide us with no food.
Google. You need to work for Google.
I do need to work for Google.
They literally have apparently the best cafeteria thing to feed their employees all day, every day.
I don't think Google would want me working there.
I'm shocked. I was completely shocked when I heard that. I was like, you have a cafeteria that feeds people breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was like, you know how much money I would save on eating? Even though it's not expensive as a girl to eat. You split an appetizer and that's dinner normally.
Yeah, lucky for you. My big ass I can't be fulfilled on an appetizer, fam. Fuck, no, I don't think so. But that's lit, man. I feel like I need to get me a little corporate job like that. But I really just, if y'all want me to come, just have free food, bro. It's easy. Yo, let me stop this real quick, man. We just had the Bobby Shmurda banging. I think Bobby's scheduled to get out of jail like a year from now. Maybe that's incorrect, man. I don't ever be knowing. I always see people posting about how he's supposed to get out, and sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2 years. I think it's, maybe summer 2021 or some shit like that. But either way, Bobby held it down, man. So, we're still listening to the song. I don't even know if he has any other music. I don't think I've ever listened to anything else he's ever done. I think that's the only song that I know. And I remember the video, he threw the hat up in the air. We never saw that hat again. So I imagine that when he walks out of jail, he gonna put his hand up, kind of like what Thor be doing, and then the hammer just shows up. When Bobby comes out, he gonna put his hand up, and that hat gonna be right there waiting on him. He talked about ride or die. That fitted cap that he had in that video And y'all remember that shit because he just threw that motherfucker up and then you never saw it again. But it'll be back. Bobby will make his return to the music game. Hopefully he'll be just as fierce and, you know, rough and rugged. But, you know, if he's not, hope my nigga has a backup plan. But anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about Super Bowl picks. We did go into that. We have our guest on, Jordan. She kind of was just giving her background story and all that type of stuff. And we are going to talk to her a little bit. But if you want to learn more about her, you're going to have to watch the recording on YouTube, because the next portion of our show is dedicated to talking about, and this is a situation you went through personally.
Actually, yeah, I just recently went through this situation. And I told you a little.
Go ahead, you can hold it.
Yeah, I told you a little bit about the story before we even started the show. So you were kind of caught off guard because, one, like you said, it's like almost lifelong friends since you've been in Washington.
Yeah.
And we're pretty close. And I'll talk to you pretty much about, I'd say, almost anything.
Yeah.
For the most part.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've cried into Top Ramen talking to Nick on FaceTime before when I lived in Texas.
Yeah, that was funny.
100% did.
I don't answer those calls no more because I'm not trying to listen to somebody whine while they make 3 packs of ramen and then, like, you know, fall out. That's weird. That's weird to me. I don't have time for that. But yeah. So tell them about this situation that you've been in, and then tell them what your question is.
Okay, so the situation, I guess, came up, I think yesterday. I was actually riding around. I've been dating this guy for a little bit of time. I'd say, give or take, a little over a month and a half or 2. And we were sitting in the car and I was driving and he like made a comment and he said something along the lines, and I can't remember, I wish I could quote it because I was royally pissed off at the time. But he said, you could stand to lose about 15 pounds. His interpretation is I could, not that I need to lose 15 pounds, but he was just pointing out that, like, Nick could lose 15 pounds.
Hey!
I could lose 15 pounds. Everyone can lose 15 pounds.
Nah, fuck that.
And I was kind of baffled by the situation. I
I probably lose 30 if we keeping it real.
I was a little pissed off at the time to say I definitely needed some time to cool down for sure after that comment was brought to my attention, being the fact that I am the petite person that I am. But I guess my question though to you, Nick, is that, or to any guy really, is why do guys think that sometimes comments, and this is how I reminded him, is sometimes you think things in your head, right? It's like, you know, it's almost like if you saw boobs, you're like, boobs, boobs, hot ass. Okay, perfect. Like, you're not going to say that shit out loud. Like, some things you just don't say out loud to your girl. You don't say, hey, yo, baby, I think you could lose 15 pounds.
No. You don't
like,
say that.
what would, like, I guess what would be maybe the nicer way to maybe go about saying something like that, but you, like, where you're, like, not putting it as a bad thing. You're not like, hey, yo, baby, let's go to the gym together. But you could be like, I don't know. What could you say? Like, what really could you say to make that an acceptable conversation? Because I honestly, truly don't believe it's ever acceptable. And I read an article, I don't know, last week.
Okay.
And it literally said if your husband, because this is quote unquote about having a husband, if your husband has a problem with your weight, throw the whole husband out. And that's truly my opinion. Because, like, one, honestly, let's be real. It's way easier for a girl to replace a guy than a guy to replace a girl any day. Because girls nowadays, unless they have really low self-esteem and no backbone at all, they're either going to, 1, deal with you, or 2, put you in your place. And if you don't listen, they're just going to get rid of you and say next.
Damn. Oh damn. That's 3 dams. I don't even know where to start. Look, you know what? I'm not going to address that last part. I know. Anyway, so your question to me is what? Like, you know,
Like, is there an appropriate way to go about it?
Gotcha. Is there an appropriate way to go about it? So, one...
Okay, there's 2 questions, actually. Is there an appropriate way to go about it? And 2, should you ever bring that topic up?
Gotcha. Okay, so 2-part question. Is there an appropriate way to bring it up? And should you ever bring it up, basically?
Essentially, yeah.
I would say, for me, no. I would never say anything. I don't feel like there is an appropriate way to bring it up, because I think when you get to the point where if a nigga ever really feels comfortable to comment on a girl's weight, fam, I'm sorry, but like, to me, bungee jumping, swimming with sharks, feeding lions, like that's also on there. Commenting on a girl's weight and age, like I'm not doing any of those things ever. I'm not doing it. And I would say this: if I felt like if I was to be the type to bring it up, I feel like the only way I would be able to bring it up, it would have to be during a time when we were both just maybe eating a really disgusting meal, and I would have to be like, look, I'm grossed out by myself, not grossed out by you, but I need your help in changing this for me. You have to put it on you, because if you just come out and you're like, look, man, you gotta lose some weight, like that sounds harsh. Like, no girl, I don't think any girl wants to hear that. No guy wants to hear that shit either. Like, no
right.
Niggas just sitting at home and wanting to get called fat by his girl. Like, that's disrespectful. So you gotta handle people with kid gloves when it comes to weight, because we spend so much time on the internet and on TV, putting so much emphasis on girls with really slim waist and fat booties, and guys with 6-packs and big arms and big cat, like all these things. And so we literally go out of our way to make most of America and the world feel insecure about how they look. So like, if somebody really has the fucking balls to like ask you, or tell, if he told you that you could stand to lose 15 pounds, I'm gonna say this, fam, you are braver than me. I wouldn't do that. And also, I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Your days are probably numbered with her, because what girl's really gonna tolerate you for very long after they know that you apparently don't have even the slightest amount of filter to not comment on their weight? No girl wants to hear that, bro. You're not doing the right thing. So even if you think you are, I assure you, you are not. I would not do that. I don't think that's good. I don't think there's an appropriate way to do it. Like I said, if I was somebody who was, had the cojones, and I wanted to, if I felt compelled to do it, I would have to bring it up, and I would want to make sure that I genuinely felt like I really needed to make changes, because I wouldn't want it to be fake. You can't like fake it and be like, oh, it's for me, but like it's really for you. Like, no, like it would have to be a team thing, and I would have to make sure like I really want to make these changes for myself, because I'm not gonna embarrass my wife like that. Fuck no.
Well,
or girlfriend, hell no.
Well, you can't also, in the same sense, you can't, like, when it comes down to, like, guys are like, hey, yeah, let's go to the gym together, let's work out together. Most girls have no desire to work out the way guys work out at the gym. Like, the weights, the heavy lifting, throwing the weights around, like, acting like you're, I don't know, quote-unquote a meathead, I guess you could put it that way, in the dumbest terms.
A meathead.
But, like, no girl wants to be put in a situation where they have to feel like they're obligated to go to the gym. Because the first thing you should know about women is if they feel obligated to do something, like it's almost like, oh, we can't talk about this on too good. Never mind, I'm not gonna go there. But it's almost like if they feel like they are obligated to do something just because their significant other tells them that that's what they should do. I don't know, knowing me myself, but I mean, maybe it's because I have a backbone and I'm not a passive person.
Damn. I think that's pow, 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 shots fired.
I'm personally, if you tell me to lose weight and go to the gym or not drink or not smoke or whatever you think you can boss me around and tell me not to do, one, you're gonna spend less time with me, and two, I'm gonna do whatever the freak I want. And definitely just not include you in my plans.
You know what, man? See, and that's the thing. I feel like if people really wanted to, if guys really wanted to like maintain their relationships with women, and I'm sure dude probably really likes you, I bet. But he probably is one of those guys who thinks he knows how to talk to girls but really doesn't. And that's okay. The problem with a lot of guys is we walk around pretending like we know everything. Fam, it's okay to just be like, look, this is just shit I just don't know. And it's okay to not speak sometimes. Like you don't even have to make the comment. Even if you feel like maybe you would want to say something, no. Let them bring it up to you, and then even then tread lightly.
Literally, what I actually said too in one of my responses to him, besides my it's his way or the highway thing, is like how I feel about sometimes. Like, it's like, if it's not his way, we're not doing it, because that's the only way that's the right way to do things.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is too also that I said, you know how sometimes you think things in your head that you don't say out loud to people at work or in general in life? Yeah. Like, if you think something and you say it out loud and someone obviously takes offense to it, that's just a normal person, you 100% should not be bringing anything up that's even close to relevant or weight related, hair related, body related, outfit related. I don't care.
Nah, look.
Everything related.
If you wear some dusty ass, janky ass clothes, fam, I might have to say something, because that could easily be changed. Get some new clothes. Change your clothes. If you wear something that's like stupid looking, I'm gonna roast the shit out of you. But mainly me, I don't really be saying anything because I don't want to have my fade run by some girl I'm talking to or a girl that I'm dating. Some of that shit just isn't worth it. Like, I'm not ever gonna look at my girl and be like, fam, like, look, you putting on a little too much weight. Because I'm always going to be big. Like, there's nothing that I can say. As long as you're not able to pick me up and slam me or be bigger than me, we're good. And I'm 6'4", about 235, 240 pounds. I'm a big person. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to be terminated by somebody my own size in a relationship. So, look, I say you're good. Make sure you're healthy. Make sure your heart beats regularly and it can pump your blood, keep you healthy. Do you, but, I feel like guys, y'all gotta learn to you gotta be quiet sometimes, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth making a comment and then causing problems in your relationship. Because if you think that a person's gonna forget when you comment on their weight, nah, fam. They don't ever forget. No one's gonna forget that shit. I've dated a couple girls who've made some comments about my weight. And I'm like, look, bitch, you thought I forgot about that? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. No, I remember that. And that's why, if you were wondering why that one time I didn't hold the door open for you and it hit you in the fucking head, yeah, that's because you made fun of me that one time when we was arguing. You called me fat. You thought I didn't hear that shit, but I did. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but nah, I'm not ever trying to look at my significant other and be like, yo, you can stand to lose 15 pounds. Even when girls ask, because some girls will try to ask you.
100%.
I automatically always think it's a trap.
100% a trap.
Yeah.
If any girl is ever asking you and be like, hey, baby, do you think I put on a little bit of weight? Never respond. You're walking into the biggest trap that will start World War V in your house. Yeah. So don't freaking answer it. And even if you start the conversation, because funny kicker about the whole situation is he started the conversation, because I've been running like 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 4, about 3 miles a day.
I'm only running back and forth to the fridge, fam.
And he made a comment. He's like, yeah, you've lost a little bit of weight. That's how he started the conversation. So you don't like, it's not like a, what do you call those, a compliment sandwich? Positive, bad thing, positive. Isn't that what they're called? I don't know. I think that's what they're called.
I've never heard anyone say.
Yeah, so you say a good thing about the person, then you say something that you want them to work on, and then you say another good thing so they remember good thing. Oh, I need to work on this good thing, so it's a compliment sandwich. So you're giving them bad news in the middle of 2 good news things. Have you never heard of this before?
I've never heard of this technique. I'm going to tell you this. I think that sounds like a terrible idea depending on the person you're dealing with. Because a lot of people, they're not going to hear those two compliments.
No.
They're only going to hear the negative part.
Has anyone ever met a girl before? Like, if you ever try to give a girl feedback, and never use the word, by the way, feedback in your relationship. Let me give you some feedback. First off, it's not my job. Secondly, you're not my boss. You're not giving me fucking feedback. Any feedback that you want to give me can be seen out the door with your ass getting hit by the door on your way out.
So, let me ask you this. Based on how you're acting right now in this moment, do you have any concern about becoming a cat lady? And
I hate cats.
Okay, so becoming the lady with 15 dogs.
That sounds lovely.
Do you have any concerns about that? Because, I don't know, man, like, you landed on this guy. This guy is a bum. Maybe he's not. I can't say that. I don't know him. I don't know if he's a bum or not. But also, I feel like, fam, you obviously feel some type of way about him making the comment about the weight. So, is he gonna end up being cut, and are you becoming a dog lady after this? Because you seem like I don't know. Like, is anyone gonna be able to meet your standards? Or are you going to end up kicking their ass out the door like you were just talking about?
I mean, I think there's probably more to come about specific situations through what me and Jordan are about to probably gonna put out into the interweb.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a secret. Look, okay, we're gonna just say this. Fam, you might have bought yourself a few more days. I was trying to gauge what your temperature was finna be like, and maybe on the Michael Jackson show, we might have just saved your relationship, or we ruined it. I don't fucking know. It don't really matter at this point. But anyway, so we try to do our best to answer Jordan's question. I said, for me personally as a man, I'm not commenting on a girl's weight. I'm not gonna do anything crazy like that. Baby, you look good just the way you are. You're perfect. These are easy lines you can practice in the mirror before you get your day started. Like, right before, after, even during, while you brush your teeth. It's not hard to have some of these in your back pocket. And I think it's important because, believe it or not, these are the answers that they're probably looking for, fam. You gotta remember, some of this shit is just a test on a daily. They want to make sure that you're, doing what you gotta do and, acting fucking right. You can't ask questions about the weight, fam. It's not a smart move. So,
no, if you ever want any type of sexual relationship with your partner,
easy, man. Kids watch this shit. I don't know. I just felt like saying that. I don't think the kids watch my shit.
Okay, well, I'm not saying we don't have to go into details, but if you want to have anything with your partner ever, why bring up something that's going to make them never want to be around you in that way?
Yeah, see, that's very true, and that's the other reason why I would never want to comment, because the last thing I want to do is comment on my girl's body and then not be able to sample the body at any time. You know what I'm saying? That is one of the benefits to being in a committed, loving relationship. I mean, yeah, you can get that in non-committed, non-loving relationships too, but when you're in that type of state with another person, like, why are you going to ruin that? Because then that's your only option for that shit. If you're doing the right thing, you're not gonna be getting it from everybody else. So you're gonna basically put yourself on the bench. It's like walking into the game and purposely throwing up air balls. The fuck is you doing that for? You don't even want to play, fam? Doesn't make sense. I don't know why people do that, but some people do. Let's see, man. Let's get back to some serious stuff. So I read today that there was a major earthquake in between Cuba and Jamaica are. I guess there was a lot of buildings in downtown Miami that were shaking. Pretty serious earthquake to where they were saying that they sent out a tsunami warning. So it looks like, the down in that area, down in the, where all the disasters happen. That's basically what I want to call it, because that's literally where it feels like all the natural disasters happen. Just down in that area near the Gulf of Mexico, Cuba, Jamaica, the islands, Florida, like the natural disasters, they start up in that area, they go in, they destroy the fucking place, and then they just cease and desist after like a couple of days. So I think we're expecting to hear some stories about people being displaced from homes and all of these wonderful things. Like, and you're talking about areas that are already going through devastation. So fuck, man, I mean, send all the prayers possible. These people are definitely gonna need it, because if a tsunami ends up hitting, everybody getting wiped out down there, and that's gonna be very unfortunate, because dusty ass Donald probably not sending nobody down there to help, which is horrible. But also at the same time, what are they gonna end up doing? You can't prevent a tsunami. You can't really prevent an earthquake. Like, what are you supposed to do about that shit? So, damn. Have you ever been through an earthquake?
Yeah, I mean, I've lived here since I was 5. There was actually a huge earthquake when I was, I think, in like 5th grade.
Shit, man.
It was a pretty big one. Like, it was the biggest since I've been here and alive.
Yeah.
And they closed school because of it, because it had like windows shattered, like lights fell down, like the power was out, and it was also during a time when I think we also had a big winter storm too. So like everything was out.
Damn.
So it was it was a pretty scary earthquake. It was a pretty big storm, and I just remember I don't know, maybe it's the way my mom raised me, but my mom came to pick us up from school, and I was like, oh, but my friends are here. And my mom was like, really? But obviously, as kids, you don't really know what's going on. You're just like, oh, the ground moved, the lights fell down. Okay, well, I want to play with my friends on the playground now. Yeah. So, bye, Mom. But I didn't go home, and my mom thought it was the funniest thing ever, because I was just like, fine. I was just like, whatever. But it was like the ground rolled, like you could see it rolling. It was pretty intense.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. See, I've never been through an earthquake. I could have sworn about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, that I was just in my room one day and shit was really shaking. I don't know, because I feel like when I talked to people that day, I don't think anybody else noticed it. So maybe I hit that weed too hard that day. If we being honest, I really believe shit was shaking, because some stuff in my room fell over. I didn't do that.
It's probably small.
It probably was a small one, but I've never been through like an earthquake. But I have survived several severe hurricanes. But I honestly, being from the South, being from Florida, some of those hurricanes, look, I'm not being dismissive, because some of them have been pretty bad, and I've lived through some bad ones. But look, some of those hurricanes they be getting, man, that ain't shit. It's just a lot of rain, some high winds, and then sometimes you be losing power. But I don't think I've ever really been through a tornado. I think we've had a couple come through where I lived in Florida, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, earthquakes, tsunami, mudslide. I've never been through no shit like that. So hopefully that never happens. But out here, I've heard that it's likely to happen.
The earthquake thing? Yeah. Also on top of that, Mount Rainier erupting, potentially. Like,
how close is Mount Rainier?
Oh, it's close enough. Like, it's close enough that if it erupted, we would get
like lava and shit.
At least ash for sure. Probably lava. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yo, stay tuned for the episode that I do about lava. Because if we get some lava over here, I'm gonna be lit. Well, I'll probably be burnt up, but that's gonna be crazy, man. Never seen lava up close. Can you Google how much lava can a person handle? Or is it just so hot that as soon as it touches
you? So if you want some research on it, the last time Mount Rainier erupted, which is why it's due to erupt currently, was 1894 to 1895.
So it was just steady erupting for a year?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't have enough money saved to take a year off from work.
Yeah.
Now I'm stressed about that. See, you can't tell me stuff like that. Now I'm panicked, because they think the Mount Rainier might erupt. We're gonna have some conspiracy theorists on this show. Are there ways to stop a volcano from erupting? Why have we not developed man-made technology for that? And does the government purposely erupt these volcanoes to, help decrease population? Who knows? I don't know. Do you know?
I actually don't. I'm trying to research some things about this right now.
Yo, so I'm hoping, because my boy James, shout out to my man James, he is wanting to be on the show, and we were cutting up today joking about doing some conspiracy theories. So one of our shows in the next couple of weeks is going to have him on it. It might be on Thursday while we playing. I'm going to really reach out to him and see if he wants to be on. But we were talking about the conspiracy theory we talked about today is that he really believed that the NBA was rigged in the early 2000s when the Lakers played the Sacramento Kings. They're trying to say that that shit was rigged because the NBA didn't want to have the Kings play the New Jersey Nets in the finals. Now, there's a part of me that could maybe see that, because who the hell wanted to watch the Kings play? I would have rather seen Kobe and Shaq, which is what we ended up seeing. But I also believe that it didn't matter what Sacramento had, because they couldn't beat Kobe and they couldn't beat Shaq. So we might have him on, hopefully on Thursday, so he can talk about that conspiracy theory, potentially the moon landing. There's some some conspiracies around that. In like the NASA program. I want James to talk about all that, because I think some of that stuff is funny as hell. But there were some other ones. So not as any disrespect. I'm only bringing this up because it's just fresh, but there were really people leaving comments on posts about Kobe where they were saying that LeBron caused the accident.
Oh, I saw that.
Like Illuminati type shit, and trying to say that, like, one of his tests that he had to pass was to kill Kobe or some shit like that, or that the day after he set the record, if he wanted to have the record, then Kobe had to die for it or some crazy shit. I'm here to tell you, for the people that were saying that, UMFs are crazy, and you need to take a break from the internet. Please take a day, 2 days, a year. Take some time away from the internet, fam, because if you really believe that LeBron orchestrated Kobe's death in a helicopter crash, you're fucking insane, all right? There's no way on earth that is a thing, bro. Stop trying to do that with the Illuminati shit. Don't try to do that. Don't disrespect Kobe like that. Don't try to really be out here convincing people that LeBron or any other player tried to orchestrate that shit. That is hella corny. R.I.P. Kobe. Let's see. Last week on Tuesday, I talked about, as we close out the show, we had Sherry on the show last Tuesday. Shout out to Sherry, CEO of Track Talk Records, Miss Tag Talk. Sherry, good looking out. Thanks for not canceling my show. But we talked about very briefly, I don't know if you heard, but did you hear the new Eminem album?
I did. I've listened to one song.
What song did you listen to?
To be honest, since I'm not such a music person all the time, like I don't remember song names. I know.
Oh my God.
I know you're gonna go
Fam
there.
just said not such a music person. That was wild to hear. But either way, Kobe's passing got me thinking about other GOATs in other areas of art, and Eminem is one of those. And because I've still been listening to the album, I've made my final decisions about how I feel about the album. I want to say the album was really good, but I don't think it was better than Kamikaze. I also don't think it was better than Recovery. But it was a great album. Features were good. Young M.A. was great. Obviously, Royce da 5'9" always killed it. I liked the song Godzilla with Juice WRLD. That was a really good one. And I didn't know anything about Juice WRLD, but somebody was telling me that this young man was an artist who ended up passing away or something like that. I guess from drug overdose. I'm sorry if that's wrong. I'm just relaying a message. This is what somebody told me. I want to give him his proper dues. And so if we have to do any type of revisions on Thursday's show about him, we will do so. But that record was really good. And I liked the song that M had. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but he was not making fun, but you all know he was killing his dad. He kind of went in on his own father, but the song as a whole was pretty good. So overall, Eminem had a great album. I think how old is he? 45 or something like that. He's like 45, still putting out really good rap music. I think that's impressive. He's you know, I don't know. He's one of the GOATs, man. I think it's weird when people try to say that he sucks or that he's a guest in hip hop just because he's white, and they just assume that everyone who does hip hop should only be black. Some of these black people that y'all hype up and put on pedestals are fucking garbage. They don't deserve to be here just because they're black. It's art. Art is subjective. Their art sucks sometimes. They're probably great people, really nice, wonderful, friendly, funny people, but not all of their music is very good. So we got to stop disrespecting the one guy who actually is still putting out good music within his genre and his category. Like, he continues to do his thing, and he's, I don't know, people try to say he's washed, but I don't know, man. It's like still watching Kobe play in his prime. Eminem is still like in his prime, you know? So, like I said, got me thinking about GOATs, and then I was thinking about who's an acting GOAT? Someone who I think is just a great actor. You know, the Denzels of the world. I got Robert Downey Jr. on that list. I think he's a great actor. Mark Wahlberg, to me, is a national treasure. I love Mark Wahlberg. I think he's great. Charlize Theron, I think, is a great actress. I think she's somebody that's like GOAT level, you know. Who else is there? Who else is really fire at acting? I don't know. Give me somebody that you really love as an actor and actress.
You know, I was like really trying to pinpoint like one specific person. Julia Roberts is probably one of my favorite actresses.
Okay.
Of
I see that. She's pretty good.
Of the era that I especially watched movies in, because we all know movies kind of start to fall off as the years go on, because it's like repeats of the same type of show.
Yeah, everybody's making the same fucking movie over and over again.
But like, just think back to Julia Roberts on Pretty Woman, and like,
it's a classic movie. Classic movie.
100%.
I still think like Robert De Niro, I think, is a national treasure. There's a lot of people who are really garbage though, and I don't even want to. I don't bother to remember their names. So like, if I see them pop up on screen, I'll be like, he's garbage. Like, she's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of those. I'm thinking other sports GOATs. I mean, there's so many people within a lot of these, you know, whether it be sports, you know, acting, you know, music, any of these forms of art. Like, there are so many good and great people. It's crazy to think, like, when these people start to go away, you think, like, we're never going to hear from them again, or we're never going to see them in a movie, we're never going to get this person's music again. And so it got me thinking, like, one of the things I want to try to be better about, excuse me, is celebrating people while they're here rather than waiting till they're gone. Now, for me, everybody that knows me knows that, like, I'm all day, every day repping Kobe. And I have been. Like, you know, I almost felt like he still had been playing, you know, and then realizing that, like, you know, his career had actually been done, you know, 3-4 years ago. And like, even before that, like, 2012 was like the last time they went to the playoffs. And like, before, you know, you start racking up all these injuries. So the last time Kobe was actually, you know, on a good team and they were competing was 2010. And we're in 2020, you know, so it's like, it's a decade since he's been great, but, you know, I want to try to do a better job of appreciating people and their art, especially if I believe in them and their art. And there's not too many people that I hold in high regard. Like, M is somebody as a rapper that I would, like, there's tons of people in the R&B, you know, realm where I'm like, this person is great, want to appreciate their music. Like, people talk about how, like, on the show, and like even when I'm in my car doing my Snapchat videos, I listen to a lot of Trey Songz records. I'm like, he has great music, you know, so you want to appreciate that shit, because one day this nigga's not gonna be here, or the music is gonna be done, and then you're gonna be upset as a fan because you're not gonna be receiving that same type of content that you're used to. So one person, you know, another thing I wanted to start doing was like stop like hating as much. And it's not like, I don't feel like I'm being like a hater, but I think I'm always looking at people, like people like, oh, that was dope. And I'm like, they did okay. Like, I gotta stop doing that. Like, give people their props. So like one, I watched, I was with my homie Patches, and we watched Hustlers. And that was that movie with J-Lo in it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm somebody who always says that like J-Lo is just an okay singer and she's an okay actress. She makes one good artist. Good, not great. But in Hustlers, she did her thing. I appreciate her. And listen, the movie is not really them shaking ass like you think. That happens in the very beginning, and then it's a whole story. Like, she actually has to act and be a character, and like they tell you the story. Like, they're not just shaking ass the whole time. And that was one of the reasons why when I first heard it was coming out, I was like, I don't want to watch this shit, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't really care for a movie where, you know, it's just strippers. Like, I don't care about that.
Right.
I don't really attend strip clubs like that, and I don't care that people do that as a profession. I think they should do your thing, girl, get your money. But like, that's not a movie that I think I want to pay for. A movie where it's just about them. But when you hear about the story and knowing what they did, I think J-Lo did a really good job. So I gotta make sure I stop hating on J-Lo saying she's garbage. We gotta give her props. I did the same thing with Steph Curry. Like, after a while, I just had to be like, yo, this nigga can hoop. Like, what? I don't even understand like why I was always hating. Like, you know, now I watch the videos of him shooting 30-foot 3-pointers, and I'll be like, yo, that's just nasty. Like, nigga just is pulling up. He like he barely across half court. He just ready to shoot. Like, you gotta respect it. Like, there ain't no need to hate on him. Like, I don't know.
Respect the talent.
Yeah, it's all about respecting these people's talent. They work hard, man. They put in the work. They showcase their talents. Give them the props that they deserve. And like, we should want to appreciate these people while they're here, not just waiting until after they die. I think we spend so much time just harping on all the bullshit that they end up doing, and we forget that they're humans too. Like, the fact that people want to like try to, you know, bring up all this shit that Kobe went through in his past. I mean, you're talking about bringing stuff up that happened 15, 16 years ago. Like, and you're trying to bring it up like it happened yesterday, because as people, we look for reasons to like crucify people. Like, just let them live, appreciate them, appreciate him for his talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the same thing when you lose a Nipsey Hussle or a Mac Miller or a Juice WRLD, like people who really love these people and they love their art, just appreciate them. Like, everybody does dumb shit, man. Like, it is what it is. It also made me realize that I don't want to leave a legacy of being like the angry guy. You know, I want to be the friendly guy who jokes and makes people smile, makes them happy, engages and, you know, be family man and do all that type of stuff. It's hard to do that if you're out there fucking around and putting yourself in bad situations and always being negative all the time. So I think there's a lot of things a lot of takeaways from seeing how, you know, quickly and abruptly like Kobe just ends up dying. I think it just woke a lot of people up. And I can say, when you start to look at it, and, you know, hopefully everybody can draw some positives from it. Like, I think that's what it is. It's just showing you how short life is, and how important it is to make sure that you let the people around you know that like you care for them, you're still involved, and like you want to be there. And like, but it has to be genuine though. I think there's gonna be a lot of people who like want to do that stuff because it's so fresh and they feel like it's the right thing to do, but then there's like no consistency. You know, the main thing is actually practicing and being mindful of it and putting in that effort. Because if you don't, then you're gonna end up being hella lonely, and your legacy is gonna end up being like, you're gonna be the person who like barely did anything. And shit, the one thing that we do have is we have each other, we have people. You know what I'm saying? Money comes and goes, accolades or whatever, but like, you know, you wanna be the person who treats people well and, you know, is somebody who is reliable and cared about by others. But I don't know, man. It's just a lot of feelings. It's crazy. Very crazy. I lose people every day, though, man. RIP to all the fallen. I feel like we're back on the Kobe stuff, man. I had to wear my jersey tonight, represent for my guy. Like I said, tough few days, but we're in a state where we want to practice being appreciative of these people and their wonderful gifts that they have been given and that they continue to display to the rest of the world. I think that's very important. So even your friends and your family members, your siblings, they all are probably wonderful people, have wonderful talents. Appreciate them while you have the opportunity, because you never know. You might wake up tomorrow. Somebody's not waking up tomorrow. That's just facts about life. So, like I said, show love always and forever. That shit is going to be very important going forward. So, we're going to take a short break, man. Thank you for tuning in to the Meaningful Jackson Show. We have my friend Jordan on as a guest. We talked about your upcoming project with your other friend Jordan. When we come back from break, we're going to talk about whether or not she knows that you repped y'all's stuff on this podcast. Because maybe she didn't have any warning about that. So, we're going to be right back, man. We got some music from, Party Next Door and Drake, maybe some Jay-Z, and maybe some Daily, but I think we're going to come back from break after about 2 songs rather than 3. So, stay locked in, man. It's Tuesday. What day is this? January 28th? Jesus, man. It's already almost February, man. 2020 is already flying. It's probably one of the worst years of everybody's life already. But shit, did you expect anything different? Anyway, stay tuned in, man. It's the Meaningful Jackson Show. I am your host, Meaningful Jackson. Let's get this money, baby. Well, now we let the music play. Man, it's been an emotional couple of days. I think on Thursday I'm wearing the Blue Lakers jersey, because I got to represent for Kobe. But I was going a lot of my stuff, because I'm moving currently. A lot of all my bins and boxes, all that shit is in storage. And I had all my jerseys in there. So I went to my storage unit this morning at 6:30 a.m. and was in there moving shit around and digging shit out. I'm I gotta find these fucking jerseys, man, because I'm not gonna spend the week going on the show not wearing the jerseys. And then I think I'm gonna go back tonight or tomorrow, and I gotta grab my Kobe shoes, and I gotta wear some Kobe's to work, man. I gotta represent, all the Kobe gear I got. And I heard that Nike, I don't know, there's varying reports on what Nike did, but supposedly Nike pulled all the Kobe gear off their site because they didn't want people to buy it up in bulk and then resell it to make profit off of his death, which makes sense. But then I also saw reports that said Nike didn't do that it was all just sold out. But I've been checking Nike religiously over the last few days, and y'all don't have a lot of Kobe shit on there to begin with, except Nike IDs and then NXTs, and there's not a lot of clothing options. So I don't know what Nike is doing, but they need to quit playing, and they need to revamp the entire lineup and re-release any and everything that they ever created for Kobe. We need that. And I need those Kobe 3s, Nike. Stop playing with me. I have people who work at Nike that watch this. Maybe they'll send this to their higher-ups. Nike, but also I love you. So if you guys need models, anyone to rep any type of products, I am fully available, and I will always wear Nike gear. So let me know what I can do to get that sponsorship deal.
Yeah, I don't think you've never not been in Nike.
Everything I own is Nike except my drawers. my socks are always Nike. My pants, Nike. My shirt, everything is all Nike, because for years and years, because of my connects and people that I know, I was just getting free Nike shit from everywhere.
Right. So
I barely pay. I didn't really even start paying for this shit again until recently. And that's just because I don't call in the favors anymore, because, I don't know. I don't want to leverage those relationships just for that, mainly. But also, a lot of times when I have been looking on there wasn't anything that I liked. And so, you don't want to just be the person who pops up after however many months, yo, what's cracking? Can I get free Nike shit? I'm not doing that. And Nike really hasn't been putting out anything that I really, really loved. And mainly because a lot of the stuff that I wear is all on the Kobe line. And they haven't really been putting it out like they used to. But I did order some Nike stuff the other day. Some new joggers, a couple basketball shirts, some shoes, just all kinds of shit. And luckily, all that shit was free. So I guess I am still getting hooked up.
Well,
it's lit. But I need Nike to give me the deal, though. I need a deal. I'll rep the products. All I want in return is I want all the free shoes that I want. And I really just need some Cavalier 4s, Jordans. That's all I want. That, and I need those Kobe 3s. I never can find them. One time, this is probably about 6 years ago. No, it's longer than that. It's probably about 8 years ago. I go to this outlet mall, and I see these Kobe 3s, and they were on the shelf, literally $35. The only reason I didn't get them is because I didn't wear anything at the time that had baby blue and gray on it. Because the colorway is mostly gray with like baby blue lining, and I was like, I don't really like those. I would never wear them. And I should have just got them because it was like an outlet mall. They were $35 fucking dollars, and I didn't get them, and I have yet to see them since. So Nike, release those Kobe 3s. The world needs that. We deserve that. Come on. And that's why I need to get rich. I need that Nike deal so I can get exclusives.
So you can just get anything you want Nike.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But man, Nike's just playing.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that for sure. I mean, if I could wear Nike, it's like if you could sponsor any brand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of the two brands, because I live my life mostly in workout gear, I'd say 75% of the time. I wear Nike and Lululemon. What else would I want in my life?
Yeah, I don't know what that second thing is you just said, but that sounds lit. I was thinking
yoga pants.
Oh, okay. Yoga. I don't know. I'm not a Lululemon guy.
I'm sure
but
you would like Lululemons.
I was thinking you were gonna say Adidas, which I don't have any beef with Adidas, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Adidas stuff,
it's not my style.
It's trash to me, bro. I'm sorry. I do not like it. I do not like it. And I don't like when people wear half Adidas stuff and then half Nike stuff. And they try to act like they're flexing on people. Like, bro, your fucking clothes don't even match. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a snob when it comes to this stuff. I probably shouldn't be, but I am.
That's actually my biggest pet peeve. I actually hate when you see someone walking around, like, you know, at the gym or wherever, even the store, they're in like Nike tennis shoes, Under Armour workout pants, and like an Adidas shirt.
Yo.
I'm like, did your closet just throw up on you today and you didn't even realize that you don't match?
Listen, and I know right now in this moment we're both acting like some little bitches right now, and I get that. And you feel free to say what you want to me about this, but I think we both feel pretty strongly about this. Some of you people who try to come out like you're flexing on people and all your fresh gear, fam, you don't even match. You look like a goof. And it's okay, man. Do you, as long as you're happy, it's cool. But you're probably getting roasted a little bit because of your swag. And I'm sure I am too. Shit. My pants don't even really, like the bottoms of my pants don't even be touching my shoes, fam. And I don't know why that is, man. It's because my legs are too long. Nike don't really be always having the tall option.
It's like tall.
But I still be ordering this shit because I'm like, fam, I need the pants anyway. And I don't care if the bottoms of my pants don't touch my shoes because I'm a fucking weirdo who doesn't have any type of style or swag when I dress. I just wear what I'm most comfortable in. So it is what it is. Because look, I still look like this. Hey. Doesn't even matter. Let's see, man. It's already 8:40. So, Jordan, what do you think about the show? Did you have fun being on this shit?
Yeah.
It's cool.
I mean, just chopping it up a little bit, talking some basketball, talking about some sports.
Yeah. What do you think about the NBA so far this season?
You know, to be honest, the NBA this year is kind of... I mean, I like the change-ups, I like the shake-ups. I think that some of those things were very beneficial to the NBA.
You mean like the
trades,
shuffling of the team?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But honestly, this year has kind of been a big disappointment to me. There were some teams that I thought would do better than they did. There were some teams that are doing obviously worse, and I'm sure the NBA itself didn't anticipate.
Yeah, I thought Portland was going to be a lot better than what they are.
Okay, that was literally where I was going to go with this, is that I really did truly think that Portland, I didn't think was, of course, going to be like, you know, necessarily maybe like top 3 teams in the West this year.
Definitely.
But I definitely did think that Portland would at least be in the running for the playoffs right now.
I didn't think that they would spend most of the beginning of the season being below 500. I thought for sure that they would be an above 500 basketball team. We're gonna keep talking about this on the air because I think it's important to get some NBA talk in. Let's see. Jay-Z's finishing up, and then we got the Daily about to start, but we're not gonna let that shit play. But yeah, Portland has been kind of a disappointment, and then we got some other teams too. Hey, what's crack-a-lackin'? All right, man, we are back. We were literally just talking basketball, and so I was asking Jordan how she felt about the season this year, and then she was saying that we were talking about teams that we were kind of disappointed in because we were thinking that they were going to be better than they were. We were talking about the Trailblazers. Portland, I feel like I was not expecting them to be a team that spent a lot of significant time being below 500. I think that's terrible that they have a losing record because they actually have a pretty solid team. So it's weird to see that they've been doing so bad. I know they have a lot of injuries too, but their main guys aren't really hurt. Nurkic is he's poised to come back, hopefully towards the end of February, I think I heard. It could be sooner, but probably could be later. I don't know. He's coming off that broken leg. Rodney Hood tore his Achilles, so he's out for the season. CJ's been hurt a little bit, but Dame's still been killing everybody. But they literally, even when they've added Carmelo, and Carmelo's been great. So they have not been losing because they added Carmelo. They've been losing because they're just not good enough to finish games. I don't know. It's crazy, but when you watch them play, they'll play good for 2-3 quarters. Sometimes, even sometimes in the fourth quarter, they'll be winning at the beginning of the fourth, and then sometimes they'll just collapse, and then they end up getting beat by people who have no business even being on the same court as them. It's crazy. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I haven't got to catch many of the Portland games this season. Of course, I've checked out the highlights or maybe even looked at scores the next day. There's been some pretty big, epic disappointments so far for them. There's teams that, like you said, shouldn't have even played on the same court as them that are beating them. But you see that kind of, I guess it's the nature of the game. It's the nature of the beast of basketball. You'll see teams that obviously will play to a certain level and a certain extent and be good, and then they lose. We see this happen all the time in all sports. So,
well, you saw on Christmas Day, Houston losing to Golden State, that was unacceptable. It shouldn't be losing games to teams where everybody on the team
is hurt.
All their best players are hurt. The guys that are actually playing are
practice squad.
They're basically practice squad players. It's one of those things where I've seen Westbrook has definitely turned it up over the last 10 to 15 games, but James Harden has really struggled, which has been super weird. I've actually been thinking that it might be good for him to just take a few days off this week. Let them go into All-Star Weekend, which I think is next week, I think. But go into that shit and play the games, do all the activities, and then come back fresh. Because all he's doing is he's just playing games and jacking up three-pointers. They're not scoring, and then they're not winning games. Because then Russ is having to do what he has to do, which is totally fine. But the whole thing is that you guys have two superstars. If you're only running on one at a time, what's the point, man? You guys are not going to get over that hump. So Houston, I think, has been a big disappointment. I'm a little disappointed, with the Lakers by the fact that they have such a good record and they're winning, but yet they still feel like they need pieces to win the championship. And I get it because every team kind of does that, but it's fuck, man. Who else do y'all need? Is LeBron and Anthony Davis and Danny Green, you have Dwight Howard is actually playing really good basketball right now. You got him, you got JaVale McGee, you have players. Who else do you really need to win the championship? I think some of these teams are doing too much. I get it. You want to win, but fuck, man. Needing to put 4 stars on a team, I think is crazy. And everybody's trying to do that. Some of the, because we got the trade deadline coming up, some of the things I've been hearing from certain people, You know, they want, like, people want LA to, like, move all these pieces to try to get Devin Booker. So it can be Devin Booker, LeBron, and AD, which I don't even think is a possible, a deal that's even possible, honestly. But people really want that to happen, which is so weird. But it's like the Lakers have won over 30 games, and I think they barely lost 15 at the most. I don't know exactly what the record is, but like, what do you need more people for? There's no point. The Clippers have been okay, but it's weird that PG, he's hurt all the damn time as usual. And then Kawhi does all the resting and, you know, load management, but like they lose games to people where I'm like, really? Like people picked y'all to win the championship, and y'all out here like losing to like the T-Wolves and shit.
Yeah, I would have picked honestly, if I had to really think about it, and this is like beginning of season before any injuries or anything, I 100% thought Clippers out of the West for sure, no question. And then I really honestly, and this is maybe my soft spot for the 76ers a little bit, I thought the Bucks or the 76ers out of the East, because the Eastern Conference is just, once it comes to playoff, the 76ers are still in the running. So it could still be them. It depends on how they play. But
they don't play that well, though.
The Bucks, the Raptors are, of course, doing well still. I don't think
that's a surprise.
I don't honestly think they're going to win the East this year.
Hell no.
So it's not going to be, that's going to be a null and point. They won their one championship. That's it. They split the team up. That was a big mistake.
Yeah.
But I do think that I would love to see some good things come out of the 76ers. They have a lot of good players that are a little underrated on their team too, that I feel like can really bring something to the table as long as they're not injured. But in all reality, it'll probably be the Bucks and the Clippers.
You know, my Eastern Conference team is the Milwaukee Bucks. So there's a part of me that's hoping that I get what would currently be like a dream finals.
Right.
Where I get Lakers and Bucks, because then either way my team
wins. Right.
Yeah, so I think that would be great, but I still have concerns about Giannis and his ability to shoot the outside shot when it comes to playoff time. Because in playoff time, you got to be able to play half-court basketball. You're not going to be able to just run in, drive to the hoop, hit the spin move, and then try to dunk over everybody. That ain't going to work because people want to take charges, and, you know, it's just going to be difficult because half-court basketball is just way different from regular season where niggas are just running up and down the court, jacking up three-pointers. I was talking to Doug about this the other day. We talked about the Sixers, and I was just telling him how I thought that they digressed a little bit from last year.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think some of that, and Doug brought up a good point because he said that he thought it was because they didn't have a real leader. We thought Jimmy Butler actually led them, whereas now you just have a team that has like a compilation of good players, but there's no one guy on the team who's actually like their lead guy who's putting people on their back and carrying them to the next level. And so I think that's going to come back to haunt them. I don't see Ben Simmons or Embiid becoming those types of guys. I think if they still have JJ probably could be their leader of their team. Even though, and your leader doesn't always have to be your best player. They just have to be someone who's willing to like have the tough conversations, get guys motivated, and help lead you to some victories. And I think JJ does enough offensively and defensively to help his team push through that. But, you know, now he plays for the Pelicans, and they actually are having a pretty good season, all things considered. Considering they play in the West, and, you know, they have a bunch of young guys who are all basically throwaways in Los Angeles, because that's literally the team that played in LA for the last 2 years is now all playing in New Orleans. But they're all the young guys down there are actually doing pretty good. But I think Philadelphia is missing that leadership component. If they can somehow figure that out after the All-Star break, or maybe bring some, like, if they brought Iguodala back, I think that he's somebody that could lead their team. I don't really think they need him, but they need somebody like that who's a commanding presence and can get the guys to put their best feet forward. Because when I watch some of their games, I'll just be looking at them like, yo, y'all are just out here on the court. Some of y'all don't even really want to like win like that. At least that's how it seems. Because they're not really given what I saw from them last year. They used to really go out and close people out. And now this year, they're kind of just, you know, if we're in it, we're in it. If not, then we'll take the L. which is weird.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I would say that that's what was probably be my biggest disappointment of the NBA season so far. And I'm not going to lie, is that I've always had a soft spot for the Sixers and the team who does play there and who does play well there. And I've loved them out of the East. I don't have any really other strong desires out of the East besides maybe watching the Bucks, because I do like watching the Bucks. But that's been the biggest disappointment for me, is like not being able to be like, oh, you know how when you hear like, oh, the 76ers are playing, I don't even know, we'll just say the Miami Heat. And you're like, oh, well, they're going to win that one. Like, you don't even have that feeling. You're like, oh, well, we'll see how the game folds out.
I know what you're talking about. It just doesn't feel like they have games on their schedule where you're like, oh, we can just breeze through, like, these 10 teams. Like,
no, it's always just, like, a question mark. Competing. It's like, oh, well, it could go either way. We'll see how it pans out today. We'll see if their shots are on, if they're playing defense, if they're, like, whatever you need to win a full basketball game. Like, it's like they have some of it sometimes, and the other times you're just like, well, we'll hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, that's the NBA for you, man. Yeah, we're excited to see how the season finishes. I think that will be... It's going to be interesting. If Philadelphia makes it, I think they have a good chance, but I don't know, man. I think, especially after what happened to Kobe, LeBron is going to be on the mission. I think the Lakers are going to end up doing some serious things. But before we close out, I wanted to do this last story, and I just thought this shit was stupid funny, because apparently, and I don't know anything about K-pop or whatever that is. I guess, what is it, like Korean pop or something like that?
K-pop?
Is that what it is? I don't know. It's some sort of music. Let me go to my saved things on IG.
I'm not sure about
But there is this star, and I don't know what her name is. Let me read it. I guess her name is Ai Lee, and so she posted a photo with Chris Brown and then basically tried to play him afterwards. And so basically she got on her Instagram and she left a comment and basically was saying like he was one of the artists that she really enjoyed when she was growing up, and that fact will never change. This is a direct quote. I meant the fact that I enjoyed his music when I was younger will never change. I took this photo without any knowledge of what he did. That's in all caps. The only thing on my mind was literally, oh wow, CB. I used to love his songs. I do not and will not support women, men, pet, animal, or any other kinds of abusers, and the only reason I'm keeping this post up is to clarify the reason. I took this pic in the first place. I do not think lightly of any abuses. Now stop giving me so much shit for something I didn't even know happened. Oh. Which is weird because and I know we're obviously talking about Chris and Rihanna. Everybody and their mom knows about that. That was a worldwide story because they were pop stars. They were on the cover of every magazine. They're both young. They both are talented. They both have money. Everybody knew about this. So she tried to play Chris and pretend like she had no idea. The only reason she's getting any burn on this show is because someone left a comment and said, girl, how the hell did you not know what he did? It was all over the news globally. And then she put next on there. The girl replied and said, I don't read the news every day. And then Chris commented, and all he said was cornball. And I love that.
That picture, honestly, is terrible.
Yeah, the picture. Yeah, the picture is terrible. I don't know why Chris's hair is pink.
He looks terrible. Honestly, until you said it was Chris Brown, I was literally looking at it from the side, and I was like, "Who the hell is that guy?" That is the worst picture I've ever seen.
The picture didn't even look like him. Now, I'm guessing this is from the Grammys, and we're about to close out with one little song. But I'm gonna say this: I don't think anybody watches the fucking Grammys no more, bro.
Yeah,
I think that shit's garbage. But shout out to Tyler Creator for calling them out after he won his award. We're gonna talk about that on Thursday because I think it's interesting what he had to say. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. You were listening to the Meekle Jackson Show. We're live every Tuesday and Thursday on Track Talk Radio from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to say thank you to my co-host for the evening, Jordan. Thanks for sliding through and, you know, bringing the funny and, you know, cutting up with your boy. We'll have you on again sometime if you'd like to be.
For sure. I'd love to come back. It was fun talking to you. You know I love to talk sports with you.
Hey, we are lit, man. So I hope you guys tune in on Thursday. We're going to close out with, you're going to listen to like a minute or two of this record. It's Alone Together, daily featuring Marsha Ambrose. We are lit, man. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to say besides R.I.P. Kobe. Kobe was a basketball god. Will never be forgotten, man. So everybody keep your head up. Make sure you hug all your people. Send out, you know, your I love you text to any and everybody. Remember, life is very short. It can be over in an instant. So let's continue to get this money. Y'all enjoy the next couple of days of your week, and I will see you back on Thursday. It's lit. And now this shit is done, man. I'm gonna put all this video away. Hey, man, you gotta say something. Say something funny.
Something funny. You didn't prepare me for this.
I don't know. I didn't prepare for
I
you,
feel
man.
like I said my funny thing.
There you go.
The funny thing is hilarious.
We are lit, man. It's the Meaningful Jackson Show. Thank y'all for tuning in. R.I.P. Kobe. We're gonna be back on Thursday in a different Kobe jersey because that's just what I do, man. We're gonna be bringing it all week. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to Jordan. Thanks for being on the show. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.
Hey.